Just a second, the recording is okay. So as I am telling, like I am going to share notes the PDF on unit number 3 and unit number 4, so that you can go through the remaining part of unit 3, that is three-phase AC fundamentals, and unit number 4, that is transformer. Now the test is going to be conducted, I think, on Friday. That is last continuous assessment test. That is unit number. It is on unit number 4, transformer. But if I get the time up to 14th August, or if I get the time on Thursday and Friday, if I get the lectures on Thursday and Friday, I'll try to cover the topics related to transformer. But as I don't think that time is there, and your this university examination is going to start uh, in the month of September. You just go through that RTMNU site, the timetable is displayed, and there may be the faculties, like faculties may have the idea about university examination. Okay, so you just check the RTMNU site and the timetable. You don't depend on me as I am telling you, and it may be correct or may not be correct. So you just go through the RTMNU site and the timetable. Okay. So in fact, we don't have time much left to complete the remaining portion, that is unit number 4. So therefore, what I thought is I just take this one note, uh, and with the help of that, I can deliver the lecture. Means whatever the notes I do have, I can directly copy down those notes here. So it is really helpful for me because I can cover maximum portion with less time, as the time we don't have, right? So let us start with the unit number 4, and this unit number 4 is single phase transformer. It is single phase transformer. Now generally the definition of this transformer is given based on its name. जैसे यहाँ पर आप देख रहे हो, this name is basically it is made up of two different words: transform and ER, that is transformer. So if you club these two words together, that is transform and ER, that is energy. So it gives you the word as transformer. It gives you a word of transformer. And what is transform? ER. That ER is indicating energy. ER is nothing but the energy. So we can say that this is an electrical device. You can here the definition is given. Transformer is a static device by means of which an electrical power energy is transformed. It is transformed. I already said it is transformed. So transform from one alternating circuit. Alternating circuit means AC, to another with desired change in voltage, current, without any change in frequency. So this definition is very, very important, and it indicates that this is the electrical device which transforms energy, or you can say power, and it must be AC, alternating circuit or alternating current. So it transforms energy from one alternating circuit to the another alternating circuit, with change in with change in voltage and current, with change in voltage and current, and without change in without change in frequency. without change in frequency. Now, can anyone tell me the Indian, as per Indian standards, what is the Indian frequency? Can anyone tell me what is the Indian frequency? Okay, it is written here.
50 hertz.
The Indian, yes, it is 50 hertz. Correct. So this frequency is constant if we use this particular device. So the purpose of that device is only to transfer the AC circuit. It means it is only to transfer the AC, either voltage, either you can say voltage or current. But there is no change in frequency occurs. Okay. So this is called as device. Now what this device is having? This device is having primary winding and secondary winding, and that winding is wound on the limb of the core, LIMB, limb. That limb is also called as leg, LEG, legs. Like we do stand on our two legs, right? So these are nothing but the legs of the core, and this is called as core. So this is called as core. And the purpose of that core is to link the flux. So I just write it here. The purpose of core is to link the flux. It is to link flux. Okay. So the purpose of core is to link the flux. And on the core legs, winding is wound. Windings are wound. So how many legs are present there? If you just check, I already said how many windings are there. There are 2 windings. And how many legs are there? Definitely there are 2 legs. So on both the legs, the windings are wound. So on left hand side, you see the supply voltage is given. Now that supply voltage is V1. Please remember this, the parameters voltage, current, EMF, all are RMS, root mean square parameters. We have already seen in Friday's lecture. What is RMS? Root mean square. Okay. So V1 is the supply voltage given to primary winding. Now, as you know, due to the supply voltage, current starts passing through the circuit. The amount of current develops the magnetic field. So this magnetic field, which is developed on the primary winding, links from primary winding with the secondary winding. So the medium which is used to link that flux is core. That core is the medium through which that flux links. And that flux linkage takes place from primary winding to the secondary winding. So primary winding में जो flux develop होगा, that flux links with the secondary winding. So this you can see there is a flux which is represented as phi. Now this flux when get developed and when linked with primary as well as with the secondary, it induces an EMF on primary as indicated by E1 and on secondary as indicated by E2. So there are 2 fluxes, there are 2 EMF rather get developed on the winding or across the winding, that is E1 on primary and E2 on secondary. So E1 and E2 primary EMF and secondary induced EMF. So now V1 is the supply voltage, I1 is the supply current, that is referred to primary. E1 is the induced EMF due to the flux developed by the same winding, and N1 be the number of turns, N1 be the number of turns of primary winding, and N2 be the number of turns of the secondary winding. So when V1 is given to this primary winding, I1 starts passing through this primary winding, develop the flux phi and induces an EMF that is E1. Okay. Now, as soon as the load get connected on the secondary side, now what we are getting? We are getting the EMF induced. We are getting the EMF induced on primary as well as on secondary. Okay. Now, as soon as the load get connected, जैसे आप load यहाँ पर connect करोगे, what happens? The supply voltage will appear across the terminals where the load is placed, and the secondary winding get closed. Secondary winding get closed, and therefore it allows current I2 to pass. So now that I2 passes through this secondary winding. Okay. So this is what the circuit diagram and the working principle of single phase transformer. Now, if you ask me what is the principle on which this single phase transformer operates, it is electromagnetic induction. All of you please remember, because in MCQ it may be asked what is the principal operation of the single phase transformer. It is Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. What is that? It is Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. Please remember. Okay. So this is what the working principle on which transformer operates. Transformer constructionally consists of two parts. Okay. One is called as winding. So you just see it consists of two windings, primary and secondary, and there is a laminated magnetic core. Okay. Now, these two windings are electrically separated. It means there is no connection between the windings. Electrically, they are separated, but magnetically, they are connected. So, electrically separated, but magnetically linked. Now, how those two windings magnetically get linked? It is due to the flux linkage. You can see it is due to the flux linkage. Okay. Now, the winding connected to AC source is called as primary winding, and the one connected to load is called as secondary winding. When alternating voltage V1 is applied to the primary, okay, now what is happening? You are giving supply voltage V1 to this primary winding. Now that allows current to pass through the primary winding, that is core primary winding, that current passes, that develops the magnetic flux. So it develops the magnetic flux. Now that flux links with the primary as well as secondary winding, and therefore the EMF get induced, E1 and E2. Now these two EMFs develops the voltage on secondary winding, that is V2. And if the load is placed, यानी यहाँ पर अगर आप load connect कर देते हो, तो if the load is placed, the secondary current I2 passes through the winding. I2 passes through the winding. So this way, the power, now what is power? I think all of you know. Power means nothing but the product of voltage and current. So what is secondary power developed? It is V2 into I2. What is primary power developed? It is V1 into I1. It is V1 into I1. So what is primary power and what is secondary power? V1 I1 is the primary power and V2 I2 is the secondary power. So this power, we can say it is a primary power, and that primary power depends on the voltage given and hence the current passing. And the secondary power, which is again depends on the voltage which is induced on the secondary, and current passing through depends on the load. So now this is what the working principle of single phase transformer. Now the questions are very simple. Can you tell me the purpose of core? It is to link the flux. Now what is the purpose of windings? And how many windings are there? How many windings are there? There are two windings. One is called as primary and another is called as secondary. Now what is the purpose of core? What is the purpose of winding? The purpose of windings is to allow the current to pass. The current through primary winding is I1 and current through secondary winding is I2. And when the winding allows current to pass, that develops the flux and that flux links with the secondary winding, through the core. Okay, so is it clear with this point? Is there any problem? Is there any question related to this transformer? That is, now this particular explanation gives you the idea about the construction, then working principle and operation of single phase transformer. Is there any question? Okay, fine. So I just say this is what the working principle of single phase transformer. Starting point is this one, where the supply voltage is given and current is passing. That links the flux, that is develops the flux and links the flux from Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. That is electromagnetic induction यानी यहाँ पर electric supply दिया और magnetic एक flux develop हो रहा है. So magnetic induction means the EMF E1 and E2 get developed, and that develops the secondary voltage V2. Now, if the load is placed, the current starts passing through the secondary side. So whatever the power is given on the primary side get transferred to the secondary side. So it is already said, whatever the power is given to the primary side of the transformer, that same power can be transferred to the secondary side of the transformer. So voltage and current, both the parameters are changing, but the power is constant. Power is same. Power is constant. Power is same. So whatever may be the voltage on the primary, that voltage can get changed on the secondary by changing the values of currents also. So voltage and current both are changing, but the power is same. Frequency is same. Flux is same. So here the three parameters. यहाँ पर जो तीन parameters है. First parameter is power, another parameter is frequency, and third parameter is flux. These three parameters are constant, and there is no change in these three parameters occurs. So all of you please remember, power, frequency, and flux is constant, and voltage and current, both the parameters are changed. Okay. So now I just check the next. So following points are to be noted. Transformer action is based on what? Laws of electromagnetic induction. There is no electrical connection between primary and secondary. AC power is transferred from primary to secondary through magnetic flux. There is no change in frequency. Even I can add two more parameters here. There is no change in frequency as well as, just a second. Yes. So there is no change in frequency as well as power and flux. There is no change in frequency, power, and flux. Okay. The losses that occur in a transformer core. Okay. Now this is another point which we will discuss later on if we get the time. Okay. So basically iron and magnetic के वजह से जो loss होता है, that is called as core loss. That is classified as eddy current loss and hysteresis loss. So this is first loss which takes place in the transformer. First loss, and second loss is this one called as copper loss. So the loss which takes place in the core is called as core loss, and the loss which takes place in the winding is called as copper loss. So core loss and copper loss are the two losses. Now what is meant by loss? That loss is nothing but the heat which is developed. Like when the current passes through winding, the winding gets heated. So that loss due to which the loss which takes place due to the heat, that is called as heat loss in the copper, that is copper loss. When the magnetic flux link with the core, link through core with the windings, so core get heat up. So again heat loss in the core is called as core. Is it clear with this point? Any question? Okay. So see, I know ये काफी थोड़ा सा जल्दबाजी होगी अगर हम इस तरीके से जाते हैं तो, but I have to cover maximum topics so that at least like maybe 10, 20, 30% of the topics must be covered, na? So that at least get the idea of the single phase transformer. So transformer means transforms the earth means energy. So the device which transforms the energy from one AC circuit to another AC circuit by keeping frequency constant. But I suggest not only frequency but also flux and power is constant in transformer. So how this transformer operates? First, the supply voltage is given to the side. Now that side is called primary side, and we have to transform all the energy from primary side to the secondary side. So the supply is given to primary side, current passes through primary side, flux get developed on primary side, but through core it links with the secondary side, due to which it induces EMF on primary as E1 and EMF E2 on secondary side. And if the E2 is available, the voltage get developed on the secondary side of the terminals, that is V2. If the secondary side is connected with the load, the current starts passing through that secondary winding, and that current is I2. So supply voltage V1 is given on primary, current is passing through primary, V2 get developed on secondary, and I2 passes through secondary. So V1 I1 product gives us power primary, and V2 I2 gives us power secondary. So V1 I1 power P1, V2 I2 power P2. So this way the transformer transfers the energy from one side of the AC circuit to the other side of the AC circuit. Okay. Now I just take the next question. Derive the EMF equation of transformer. Now to understand this derivation, in fact, which is very simple, you just have to understand the simple instantaneous equation of flux. So the instantaneous equation of flux is given by phi is equal to phi m sin omega t. यानी हम लोग इसके पहले पढ़ चुके हैं that E is equal to Em sin omega t. Okay, we have studied this. I is equal to Im sin omega t. Then we know this small v is equal to Vm sin of omega t, etc. So these are nothing but the instantaneous equations of EMF, current and voltage. Instantaneous equations of current, EMF and voltage. Similar way, the instantaneous equation for flux can be written as phi is equal to phi m sin omega t. Now, if you ask me what is phi m stands for? Okay, can anyone tell me what is phi m stands for? Let us hear it something from you. What is phi m stands for? Students, kindly respond fast so that we can complete the remaining topics before 12:30. Okay, now phi m stands for maximum flux. Phi m stands for maximum flux. Okay, omega t stands for angular displacement. Omega t stands for angular displacement. Okay, and sine is indicating its sinusoidal. It's sinusoidal. That is called as sine. So sine omega t means sinusoidal angular displacement, and phi m is the maximum flux. Okay, now this is what the explanation to this instantaneous value of flux phi equal to phi m sin omega t. Okay, now we know from Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, E is directly proportional to d phi by dt. E is directly proportional to d phi by dt, right? But this flux is in opposition to EMF, or EMF is opposition to the flux. That we have already studied in the voltage, studied in the single phase transformer. अगर आपको याद होगा तो we have considered one inductor coil where we have given the supply voltage sinusoidal voltage, right? Now, this sinusoidal voltage which was given allows current to pass, and when current passes through this coil, that develops its own magnetic field. यहाँ पर एक खुद का एक magnetic field develop होगा. Now, this magnetic field phi induces an EMF, and I already shared that E is in opposition to the magnetic field, and then we wrote the expression for I is equal to minus L, sorry, E is equal to minus L di by dt. Another expression for this E is minus N d phi by dt, minus N d phi by dt. So E is equal to minus L di by dt, and E is equal to minus N d phi by dt. So over there we have used this expression. Here we are using this expression. So I just take the reference of this. यहाँ पर मैं इसका reference लेता हूँ, and I just write the expression for instantaneous EMF. So what is that? E1 is equal to minus N1, correct? Minus N1 d phi by dt. So negative sign is indicating that this particular flux is in opposition to EMF. So therefore we have negative sign. Now keep that minus sign with N1 as it is, d by dt, and put the value of phi. Now what is the value of phi? Phi is equal to phi m sin omega t. Now differentiate this sin of omega t. So for that purpose, take out phi m constant from the bracket. So what do you get? Minus phi m n1. Now d by dt of sin of omega t. So differentiate this sin of omega t term. Now I am just taking this minus term in the square bracket, and I am writing minus cos omega t. So derivative of sin omega t. If someone asks me, sir, what is the derivative of sin omega t? So my answer is derivative of sin omega t is cos omega t multiplied by d by dt of omega t. And what is d by dt of omega t? It is cos omega t multiplied by omega. How we are writing negative sign here? Because I am just taking this negative sign. I am just taking this negative sign from this place to here in square bracket. So therefore what I am getting is phi m into n1, that is constant of out of square bracket, multiplied by omega. So what is the derivative of sin omega t? It is cos omega t into omega, and negative sign is there in the expression, already there in the expression. So same negative sign is written here. Now, is there any question? Is there any question? Okay, fine. Now I am just doing an adjustment here. जैसे मैंने last class में आपको कहा था, last to last class, because we have all the terms sinusoidal. सभी जो terms है वो sinusoidal terms है, and therefore by keeping that view, by keeping that point in your mind, let us convert this cos term into sin. And to convert this cos term, you just see this is minus cos omega t. To convert that cos term into sin, what is done here? What is done here? Here you have sin of omega t minus 90. Sin of omega t minus 90. Now what is sin omega t minus 90? Sin omega t cos 90, sin a cos b, sin omega t cos 90 minus cos a sin b, cos omega t sin 90. Now what is cos 90? Cos 0, 1. Cos 90, 0. So this particular term becomes 0. What do you get? Minus cos omega t sin 90. Sin 90 is 1, and therefore you get minus cos omega t. So it means what? When I have to replace this minus cos omega t, I can do the adjustment as sin of omega t minus 90. So now what I am getting is omega. Now what is omega? I just write it here. Omega is twice pi f. Omega is twice pi f. So you just see twice pi f into phi m into n1 into sine of omega t minus 9. So this is what the expression for E1. This is what the expression for E1. अच्छा, हम लोग ने कहां से शुरू किया था? We have started considering flux phi is equal to phi m sin omega t, phi equal to phi m sin omega t. तो हम लोगों ने यहाँ पर एक्सप्रेशन लिखा हुआ है phi is equal to phi m sin omega t, that is instantaneous flux की एक्सप्रेशन. अब इस एक्सप्रेशन को अगर मैं एक्सप्लेन करूं तो what I have, phi m is maximum flux, what is omega t, angular displacement, sine is indicating sinusoidal waveform. So therefore what I am getting, phi is equal to phi m sin omega t is the instantaneous value of flux which is developed in the core. Now, by using Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, instantaneous EMF equation can be written as, that is nothing but the induced EMF. I am writing only for primary. So if I am writing only for primary, I have to use E1. So E1 is what? Minus n d phi by dt. Minus n d phi by dt. Minus n d phi by dt. Now minus n d phi by dt can be written as minus n1 as it is and d by dt of phi m sin of omega t. Phi m sin omega t. Now take phi m common from the expression. N1 is already there. So what do you get? D by dt of sin omega t. D by dt of sin omega t. So now phi m n1. Now phi m n1 is as it is. Find out the derivative of sin omega t and write down that negative sign here. So minus sign मैंने यहाँ पर लिखा, जो मैंने आपको बताया कि minus sign हम लोग यहाँ से ले रहे हैं and we are writing that negative sign here. Now derivative of omega t is omega. Okay. Now what is omega? Omega is twice pi f. Omega is twice pi f. So what you can write is, therefore E1 is equal to twice pi f phi m n1. And cos omega t is replaced to sin omega t minus 90. Right? Now what we are getting? यहाँ पर हमें क्या मिल रहा है? We are getting, just see. यहाँ पर मैं लिखता हूँ E1. अब ये एक्सप्रेशन आपको कैसे मिल रहा है देखिए. Even you can refer this. E is equal to Em sin omega t. यहाँ पर there is a displacement of 90 degree. Okay, so if I just compare this standard expression, यहाँ पर अगर मैं standard expression से compare करूँ तो what I get is E is equal to Em sin of omega t. Okay, E is equal to Em sin of omega t. So if I just compare, what I can write is the value of E1 will be maximum, that is Em1, when sin of omega t minus 90 is equal to 1. If you make this term equal to 1, so what you get? Em1 is equal to twice pi f phi m into n1. So इसका मतलब यहाँ पर जो term आपके पास present है, this term is written here. What is that? Em1 is equal to twice pi f phi m into n1. Okay, but all the values of the voltage and current are in RMS. So convert this Em1 into RMS. So what is that expression? ERMS, or let us say E1 RMS is equal to Em1 upon root 2. Em1 upon root 2. Now what is the value of Em1? Em1 is equal to twice pi f into phi m into n1 upon root 2. Upon root 2. Now what is 2 upon root 2 multiplied by pi? What you have to do? You have to just do the multiplication of this with the division by root 2. So you get pi. Just see the frequency phi m n1. Frequency phi m n1 as it is coming in the expression. But twice pi divided by root 2 gives you 4.44. 4.44. Okay, so therefore what we can write is, therefore hence E1 is equal to 4.44 F phi N1. E2 is equal to 4.44 F phi N2. These are what the expression of the EMF. So therefore what we can say, now if I just divide this E2 by E1, what I get? 4.44 get cancelled, frequency get cancelled, flux get cancelled, and therefore you get N2 upon N1. You get N2 upon N1. Can you tell me the constant quantities which are present here? Constant quantities which are present here. The constant quantities are flux and frequency. So in above definition, I already said that the flux and frequency is constant. Flux and frequency is constant. Okay. Now I just take the next part of it, and the next part of it is called the derivation of the transformation ratio. It is in continuation to the derivation of EMF. So expressions of E1 and E2 are written that are called as the EMF equations of transformer, primary side and secondary side. Now we have a transformation ratio to derive. So I have already done the first part of it. What you have to do? Divide expression 1 by 2 or divide expression 2 by 1. So divide E2 by E1. So what you get? E2 upon E1 is equal to N2 upon N1. That's all. Now for ideal transformer, V1 is equal to E1. See, when you give supply voltage to primary side of the transformer, current starts passing through it, the flux get developed there, and flux induces EMF E1 on primary and E2 on secondary. So can I say V1 is equal to E1? Yes, we can say that, neglecting voltage drop. So if you neglect the voltage drop, what is voltage drop that we will see? So if you neglect the voltage drop, what you can say is V1 is equal to E1. Similar way, when the E2 is developed on the secondary side of the transformer, the V2 on the secondary load terminals get developed. And if the load is connected to the secondary side of transformer, that allows current I2 to pass. That allows current I2 to pass. So it means V2 and I2 are there on the secondary side and V1 and I1 is there on the primary side. So this is power P1 on primary and power P2 on secondary. V1 allows E1 to pass, V1 allows E1 to develop, and due to E2, the V2 get developed. V1 के वजह से E1 डेवलप हुआ, E2 के वजह से V2 डेवलप. तो ये जो पूरा principal operation है, that principal operation must be clear to you. Okay, so based on that, what I am writing is V1 is equal to E1 and E2 is equal to V2 as voltage drops are 0 or voltage drops are neglected. Now, if I divide E2 by E1, what I get? V2 upon V1. Why? Because E2 is equal to V2 and E1 is equal to V1. So this is another transformation ratio which I am getting. Now, for ideal transformer, third point, there are no losses. Hence, input volt ampere is equal to output volt ampere. It means P1 is equal to P2. Now, what is P1? P1 is V1 into I1 and P2 is V2 into I2. Neglecting the voltage losses or neglecting the power losses. Now, if I divide V2 by V1, what I can write is, if I divide V2 by V1, V2 by V1, what I can write is I1 upon I2. I1 upon I2. So just see V2 by V2 into I1 equal to V1 I1 equal to V2 I2 implies V2 upon V1 is equal to I1 upon I2. So this is what your third expression. This is your third expression. Now combine all the three expressions. What do we have? E2 upon E1 is equal to N2 upon N1. We are writing first ratio. पहला रेशियो हमने लिख लिया. Now write down second ratio. It is V2 upon V1. It is V2 upon V1. And write down third ratio. It is equal to I1 upon I2. And what is that? It is equal to transformation ratio K. It is equal to transformation ratio K. That's all with this transformation ratio and EMF equation. Okay. Now आप यहाँ पर और कोई पॉइंट तो नहीं है डिस्कस करने के लिए, बट स्टिल यहाँ पर मैं आपको बता देता हूँ दैट V2 upon V1 is equal to I1 upon I2. It indicates that voltage is inversely proportional to the current. So when voltage is increasing, current decreases, and when voltage decreases, current increases from this particular relation. Please remember this point. When voltage increases, current decreases. When voltage decreases, current increases. Current increases. Is there any question on this point? Okay, so we have done the principal operation, working principle, and EMF equation of single phase transformer. So we have done with two questions. What is constant in the transformer? Power, flux, frequency. These three terms are constant. Okay. Then we have a transformer which transfers the energy from one side of the machine to the another side of the machine. Okay. Now transformer may EMF derivation which we have done, where flux is instantaneous equation, phi equal to phi m sin omega t. It works on Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. Therefore, E is directly proportional to d phi by dt. Therefore, E is equal to minus n d phi by dt. Negative sign is indicating that the flux is in opposition to the EMF. Flux is in opposition to the EMF. Okay. So we have derived the expression, and finally we are getting E1, RMS value of voltage or EMF. E1 is equal to 4.44 F phi m N1. 4.44 F phi m N1. E2 is equal to 4.44 F phi m N2. Now to get the transformation ratio, we have divided E2 by E1. Therefore, we are getting N2 upon N1. Okay. Then if voltage drops are neglected, E1 equal to V1, V2 equal to E2. Divide E2 by E1, we get V2 upon V1. Then neglect copper or neglect power losses. So input power is equal to output power. P1 is equal to P2. V1 I1 equal to V2 I2. And therefore V2 upon V1 is equal to I1 upon I2. And that indicates voltage is inversely proportional to the current. Increasing voltage drops the current, and decrease in voltage increases the current. Okay. So this is what the brief about question 1, question 2. Now third question. अब यहाँ पर please listen this question very carefully. The theoretical part is there. Explain the various features of ideal transformer and draw its phasor diagram. Okay. Now, ideal transformer means no winding resistance. No winding resistance. And if the winding resistance is no, there is no winding resistance. It means there is no leakage flux. There is no power loss. Okay. Now, if there is no winding resistance, there is no copper loss. If there is no leakage flux, it means there is no iron loss. So it means zero losses. Zero losses. Copper loss and core loss, zero. Copper loss and core loss, zero. So there is no winding resistance, though there is no leakage flux, and hence there is no copper loss and there is no iron loss. Then there is no voltage drop. There is no voltage drop. So it means what? Whatever the voltage we have on primary side V1, that same voltage will appear on the secondary side. That is V2. That is V2. Okay. तो ये आइडियल कंडीशन मैंने आपको थोड़ा एक फास्ट बता दिया. प्लीज रिमेंबर दैट अंडर आइडियल कंडीशन the voltage drops are equal to 0. Okay, and power loss is also equal to 0. Power loss is also equal to 0. Okay, जैसे हम लोग कई बार कहते हैं ना कि ideally I want to be like that. Ideal I want to be an ideal person, I want to be an ideal husband, I want to be an ideal brother, and I want to be ideal son, I want to be ideal daughter. Ideal daughter means we refer something which is constant. Okay, like if I say I am an ideal student, I am an ideal student. Ideal student means the student who follows everything, the student who will top the examination, who plays all the sports, who is good in academics, sports, co-curricular activities, etc., etc. So everywhere that particular student is good, that is called as ideal. Okay. Now here I have just given these steps to draw the phasor diagram. You just go through that steps. That steps are already followed. I just want to cover this last question, that is question number 4. So explain practical transformer on no load. Explain practical transformer, okay, on no load. Basically here there are two cases which we are going to discuss. Case number 1, on no load. Okay, anyone wants to share something? Okay, so there are two cases which we are going to discuss: no load and on load. No load and on load. So guys, we are going to discuss these two cases for transformer. एक सिंपल चीज है कि ट्रांसफार्मर में दो आप चीजें करोगे. पहले केस में ट्रांसफार्मर विदाउट एनी लोड वर्क कर रहा है, तो उस वक्त पैरामीटर्स में चेंज कैसे रहे, और अगर ट्रांसफार्मर में आप लोड कनेक्ट करते हो तो पैरामीटर में चेंज कैसे. जैसे हम लोगों ने बिहेवियर ऑफ RLC देखा था. सो दिस इज नथिंग बट द बिहेवियर ऑफ ट्रांसफार्मर. बिहेवियर ऑफ ट्रांसफार्मर. Are you getting my point? This is nothing but the behavior of transformer. Like अगर ट्रांसफार्मर लोड से कनेक्ट नहीं हो रहा है तो कैसे बिहेव करेगा, और अगर ट्रांसफार्मर में आप लोड दे रहे हो तो वो कैसे बिहेव करेगा. So transformers behavior can be checked after connecting no load, like without any load, and connecting load with the transformer. Again there are categories, like अगर आप ट्रांसफार्मर में रेजिस्टिव लोड लगाते हो तो वो कैसे बिहेव करता है, इंडक्टिव लोड लगाते हो तो कैसे बिहेव करता है, कैपेसिटिव लोड लगाते हो तो वो कैसे बिहेव करता है. सो इतने डिटेल्स हम लोगों को नहीं डील करना है, बट द ओनली थिंग वी हैव टू check these two conditions when the transformer is without load and transformer is with load. Transformer is without load and transformer is with load. Is it clear with this concept? Okay, now let us start with this. So practical transformer differs from ideal transformer in many aspects. यानी हम लोग कहते हैं ना कि आइडियली हमें बहुत अच्छा रहना चाहिए. We have to top the academic, we have to top in academics, we have to good in sports, we have to get the medals for the sports, for the co-curricular activities, for extracurricular activities, and we have to be topper, we have to be ideal. But it is not practically possible. Every student cannot be good in academics. The same student cannot be good in sports. Same students cannot be good in co-curricular. Maybe the good mentor, maybe a good follower, maybe a good student. Right? So ideally, it is practically it is not possible. That all are the ideal concepts. Yeah, ideally, वैसा होना चाहिए. But practically, it is not possible. So practically, what we say, practical transformer differs from the ideal transformer. Okay. So now, what we are doing? Practical transformer has, just see this second statement. Second statement. Practical transformer has just. So practical transformer has iron losses and winding resistance and magnetic leakage, and that gives you due to the leakage resistance. So in short, what we have the iron losses and the copper loss. We have the iron losses and the copper losses. Okay. So consider practical transformer on no load. Now we have what we are considering. Consider a practical transformer on node. Okay. Now, when we have a transformer, just see the diagram. Just see the diagram. Now the concept is same. यहाँ पर concept आपका same रहेगा. The only thing is there is no load present on this secondary. There is no load present on the secondary. If there is no load on the secondary side, what it means, that shows the secondary current I2 is equal to 0. I2 is equal to 0 ampere. If there is no load connected on the secondary side, it means the secondary current I2 is equal to 0. And I already said कि secondary side में current कब pass होगा, when there is a load connected on the secondary side. Okay. Now how this transformer works? First of all, you have to give the supply voltage to the primary winding of the transformer. And as soon as you give supply voltage, current starts passing through this. That develops magnetic flux, and this flux links with the primary as well as with the secondary side, and therefore it induces EMF as E1 on primary and E2 on secondary. As there is no load connected with the secondary side, the voltage get developed on the secondary side of the winding. Okay, so what you are doing, you are giving supply voltage on primary side, current starts passing through this primary side, the flux get developed here, so that is phi. Flux get developed here, that is phi. That induces EMF E1 on primary and EMF E2 on secondary. And as there is no load, the voltage get developed on the secondary side of the winding. Now, number of turns on primary are same, that is N1, which we discussed. On secondary, it is N2, which we discussed. The only thing is there is no load present, and therefore secondary current I2 is 0 ampere. Secondary current I2 is 0 ampere. Okay. Now we have only current which is passing through this primary winding, and as this particular current is passing under no load condition, therefore this current is named as no load current. Instead of representing it as I1, instead of calling that current as I1, that current is represented as I0, and that I0 is called as no load primary current. It is called as no load primary current. Okay, I think I just stop here for the today's lecture because it's already 12:26. I just want to ask you, do you have any question on this? Do you have any question on this?
No, sir.
Okay, Madhav, there is no question. Aditya, any question? Aditya, Rohini? Aditya,
no, sir.
okay. Aniruddha, Apurva, Aryan, Atharva, Devyani, Devashish?
No, sir.
No, sir. It's
No,
clear.
sir. No, sir.
Fine. So I just
No, sir.
stop here. Related to this same topic, the remaining part and this particular phasor diagram, I just take it on next lecture. So if I get lecture on Wednesday, 10:15 to 11:15, in that I may take. Okay. And then the lectures on Thursday and Friday can complete maybe the complete unit. So, but I suggest you to attend all the lectures, remaining lectures, so that you can attempt, so that you can solve continuous assessment 4, last continuous assessment 4. Okay. So I am just going to share the recording of this particular lecture immediately after my lecture, and the notes related to unit number 3 and unit number 4. For that purpose, you have to be there on YouTube, WhatsApp, Google Classroom. Okay. Those who are not there on Google Classroom, still they have that opportunity to join Google Classroom to avail all the videos, PPTs, and the notes related to this particular unit. Okay, fine. Now, do you have any question? So now, if you don't have any question, I just want, yes, I just want your attendance. So roll number 1 to 10. Kindly put your attendance. Roll number 1 to 10. 1 to 10. Okay. 11 to 20. 11 to 20. 11 to 20. Very good. Okay. 21 to 30. 21 to 30. Okay. Then 31 to 40. 31 to 40. Okay. Then 41 to 50. 41 to 50. 41 to 50. Okay. 51 to 60. पूजा आपका अटेंडेंस काउंट नहीं होगा. 51 to 60. 51 to 60. Very good. Roll number 10, your attendance is not going to be counted. Okay. Samir, again you are putting lead. Like every day, like every lecture, you do put your attendance very late. Last 61 to 65. 61 to 65. What about 65? Okay, yes, yes. Correct. Then 61, 62. Expecting 61, 62. Fine. So thank you so much, guys. Take care. Just close your lecture here now.